Good afternoon. About 4:30 p.m. yesterday afternoon, police were notified of an incident occurring at a property in Coree near Uriara. A 20-year-old man who was with 4 other men known to him is alleged to have had a verbal disagreement with them. The man is alleged to have retrieved a firearm and used it to shoot at the men multiple times. The 4 men then fled the scene and were able to hide and dial 000. Police arrived a short time later and commenced an operation to rescue the 4 men, locating them on the property and moving them to safety. They were not injured during the incident. Just after 10 p.m. last night, police located the alleged offender riding a quad bike attempting to exit the property, and he was subsequently arrested. The 20-year-old has been charged with 4 counts of discharging a loaded firearm causing a person to fear. Our inquiries remain ongoing at this stage, and I'm happy to take some questions.
Can you take us through the timeline from 4:30 to 10 o'clock? So obviously that's quite a bit of time. What time did police arrive and kind of what happened?
So we arrived shortly after 4:30. I won't go into all the specific details again because that will be subject obviously to a court process with specific times. The male was located shortly after 10 p.m. Shortly after the police got there at 4, the males were located. In between those times, a cordon was put in to ensure community safety and specialist resources were deployed.
What kind of property was it?
It's a rural property, so out past Uriara.
So are they sort of hiding out in the bush? Are they hiding in a house? Kind of where were they hiding? So
they were adjacent to some buildings on the property, is my understanding. Post that, the males that were subject to the firearm being pointed at them allegedly and the shots, they took cover. As to where they went, I couldn't tell you. Why did it take from when you arrived shortly after 4:30 until 10 o'clock to locate the person you charged? Obviously, when police are deploying to anything high risk, we like to do things in a planned fashion rather than unplanned. It does take some time to get intelligence that would give us a picture of who we're looking for, the task that we're specifically doing. We also deployed specialist resources, which take some time to get to the scene to undertake those higher risk operations. So was he hiding out then? Obviously guessing the situation or hearing sirens, is this suspect the man that you've charged? Is he hiding on the property? Is it kind of a shootout, standoff situation? Can you sort of paint us a bit more of a picture? So inquiries are ongoing, so I wouldn't like to speculate as to the exact movements, actions of the males or his motivation. Suffice to say, there was a period of time that we did not have the male in sight. We had a fair idea as to where he was. He was then located, trying to leave the property at about 10 p.m. Do you know how many shots were fired? You said multiple shots. So there was multiple shots. I'd be comfortable saying more than 5. As to the exact amount, I couldn't speculate at this stage. There's obviously forensics and others will go out to ascertain that today. What kind of firearm? It was a rifle, hunting rifle. Okay, like a single shot, semi-automatic? I'm unaware of the specific details of the firearm other than it was a hunting rifle. How do you stop a man on a quad bike at 10 o'clock at night? We use specialist police resources, so our tactical response, the negotiators, there was partner agencies out there, ACTAS, to ensure that if something did happen, we had sufficient resources in place to deal with whatever emergency came our way. So he was apprehended as he tried to leave the property. As to how that happened, again, that's police methodology I wouldn't like to go into. Sure, and you mentioned a negotiator there, so it sounds like there was a bit of time in trying to kind of calm the situation and have a peaceful resolution. So it sounds like quite a lot of resources were deployed to this. Correct. So our preferred option for resolving any situation is using the least amount of force that we possibly have to use. A peaceful outcome is really what we're after in any of these high risk situations. And fortunately, last night, despite the potential for it to be a different story, we had a good outcome where our four potential victims and the alleged offender all came out without significant injury, no injuries to the police as well. Obviously, it's quite a small township. I understand some road closures and that kind of thing were in place. Can you just sort of talk to why that was the situation? Obviously, where there's a high caliber rifle, the potential for rounds from those rifles to travel some distance has to be taken into consideration. The roadblocks were in place to ensure community safety so that we didn't have additional scenes, additional things to deal with. It was already a high-risk situation that we didn't want to add additional complexity to.
And you sort of touched on this just so we have another version. I mean, just how dangerous a situation was this? I mean, it seems quite an unusual one, but how dangerous was it?
Yeah, it is a very dangerous situation where there's a high caliber rifle and it's allegedly been used to target other human beings. It's a situation that 99% of the population, I would say, would try to run away from. Unfortunately, that's not the gig for police and other emergency responders. They did a fantastic job last night under very difficult circumstances. It's a remote rural property. It was raining quite heavily, and to contain that scene and to get the result that we had is just a testament to the people that were out there and did the job.
Those men that were shot at, how are they?
They're fine. Yeah, 0 injuries. They will be spoken to again at length by police today to try and ascertain exactly what happened yesterday.
And when will the man face court? Do you have that?
I understand he'll probably face court in the morning. I haven't got the specific details as to any other requirements that we've got that may delay that. So tomorrow morning would be the best bet.
And why did it take until this morning to sort of charge the man after he was taken into custody last night?
So as with any investigation as complex as this, we like to present the evidence that we have to our alleged offender here to provide his version of events. That takes some time to compile.
And is there anything you can tell us about the identity of the man or his relation to the property? Was he a resident of the property?
So my understanding is that it's a family property of the offender. I can't give you too many other details other than he's a male person.
And the 4 men who were allegedly shot at, is there anything you can tell us about their relation to the property as well? Were they also residents of the property?
So I understand all 5 were friends. It was a social outing. Initial indications and reports are that there was an amount of alcohol consumed by the men. Obviously, that concerns us. Alcohol and firearms don't mix in any way, shape or form. The full details hopefully will be elicited in the days to come and will come out in court.
Any drugs involved? Illicit drugs?
No indications at this stage.